Hello, I'm Greg Rudke of Rudke Mods, and welcome to episode 8 of season 3 of my PowerPC series. Today's episode is going to be a really neat episode where we're going to be installing what's in this box here, which looks like it's from Newegg. It isn't. We're going to be installing what's in this box here into my PowerMac G4 Firewire 800 MDD. And this is really cool. If you guys remember back to when I introduced you to my era modded and upgraded Sonnet Dual 1.8 Quicksilver behind this monitor right here, if you can see it right there, there was one really neat feature. Get this back in place. There was one really neat feature that was extremely rare that no one sells anymore. The company that even makes it doesn't sell it anymore. Well, there's still one person that still sells what this thing is. And what am I talking about? I am talking about the Sweet Multiport, which was made by GeeThree, which was spelled Geethree, GeeThree. I think the company's still around, but I don't think they really make a whole lot anymore. The Sweet Multiport came out in, I want to say it was 2005 or 2006, to upgrade these systems to have front ports. And they had a kit for the graphites, which I have one over here, which also fit with the blue and white, but it was in graphite, so it didn't look right. They had a kit for the Quicksilver, which you can't buy anymore, period. No one sells those anymore. And that's what my Quicksilver has, the Dual 1.8. And then they had a kit for the MDDs. And the kit for the MDDs is slightly different than the other ones. The other ones had a faceplate. This one has a handle that flips the door down so you can have the ports accessed through here. And the handle's pretty neat. It just sticks on. I'll show you how that's going to work. Where did I buy this? This is the cool part. And I want to start promoting this store a lot more on my channel. In fact, I haven't yet. This was from Headgap. Operator Headgap. Their website is headgapstore.com. And Headgap is run by Bob Nunn and Sharon Nunn. And they're very nice people. It's a very small company, but it's one of the original Mac parts stores online, and it's still around. And the website's kind of outdated looking, and the prices for their Macs, this is what comes with everything you order from them. It's a kind of like a small catalog, okay? The prices for their Macs are kind of high, like really high. But that's not why I'm promoting them. It's because they have stuff that no other Mac store has. Plus, if you talk to Bob and Sharon personally, I'm sure you could get these systems for a lot less. And in fact, my graphite that I got from Michael Stanhope is a upgraded system from them from back in the day. It was probably upgraded around 2003. We'll be doing a video on that too and promoting them again. But this is a great website to go to if you need to find something rare. And they actually still have Sweet Multiports. They have the graphite version and they have the MDD version. They sold out the Quicksilver version. Now, from what I can tell by looking inside this box here, this isn't the original retail packaging. I don't even think this is the original instructions. Some of this is still sealed, so I'm not really sure if this was used before. It doesn't look like it has been, but it's not in the original retail packaging anymore. And I don't know about that. But this is the only way you can still get it new. And, well, anyway, I'm really excited to show you guys all the stuff that's in this box and how to install it into my MDD. And this MDD has a few more new features that we'll be covering in the video. For instance, it's now got LEDs, which is pretty cool. And this is an RGB LED that I'll have to actually take out, because right now I have it in this bay. We'll have it installed when we're done, but I'll have to move it temporarily. It's got RGBs in it, and I'll show you how that works in the video. And I've also overclocked it to 1.5 gigahertz, which literally took me about 5 minutes, if that, one late night. I just couldn't sleep. I decided, yeah, let's overclock the MDD. I overclocked it. It worked great. I went to bed. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to show you guys this, and hey, let's get on to it. Okay, so I thought we'd start off with an unboxing. Now, of course, I've already opened it and already pulled everything out to make sure everything was there. This isn't exactly how it came, but I haven't unwrapped anything. So we can at least have the pleasure of unwrapping. Let's see here. I don't know where I put my knife. Hopefully we won't need it. But anyway, with every single thing that comes from Headgap, you get these extremely inflated MAC prices on their catalogs. Sorry guys, but yeah, it is kind of expensive. Just letting you guys, Headgap, know that. But that's not why this is so cool. This place has some really cool stuff at really good prices. And I'm not sure if all these are even the right prices for them now. Because I'll tell you what, a lot of this stuff is going cheap on their website. And in fact, even some of these Macs are a lot cheaper than that. Trust me, this system's probably worth maybe $100, $150, if that. You know, it's really inflated prices. But, yeah. Other than that, you know, they always come with a catalog. Really neat. Usually one page. I think I once got a 2-page from there. I've ordered a few things from them in the past. But, yeah, you get that, and then you get what you ordered in the box. Now, first off, we've got the, I think this is, what is this, a 26-pin? Yeah, it's like a 26-pin ribbon cable, which interfaces between the PCI card, which you have to plug in, to the ports themselves. And this cable here, it supplies the power and the data coming through the card and stuff. Now the card, that I remember I figured this out in that last video, which showed one of these. The card actually has no interfaces with the board. This literally just supplies power. And to get interfaces with FireWire and USB, you have to plug in FireWire through the FireWire port on the back, and USB through the USB port on the back. That's the way you get the front ports. And this version, unlike the Quicksilver version was the only one like this. This version has a multi-card reader instead of a CF card reader in it. So it can do CF card and more. Here are the instructions. We'll go into detail about that when we're installing it. Then we have cables. Now this I think might be, I don't think these are the original cables. I don't know, they might have gotten these out surplus, and not all the parts came with the system. The things, who knows. These are definitely not the original cables, but they'll work. We'll use those. And like I said, this is the only way you can get these new. So it's not a huge loss. Here is the Sweet Multiport itself. And this will have to be plugged into an adapter thing that goes into the MDD bay. Let's see if I can get it out here. It's really wedged in there. There we go. This is a Sweet Multiport. It's a multi-card reader. It's got SD and probably XD and a few other readers in it, and the CF, unlike the Quicksilver version, which just had the CF, like I said earlier. This is the Sweet Multiport. This version would have been for both the MDD and the graphite, probably. They probably used the same board. Then we've got the handle, which will, it literally just glues on to that, like that, if you can see that in the camera. We'll stick that on. Then the last thing is the holder itself, which has the Sweet Multiport stuff on it and all that stuff, and this is an adapter for it. Now I don't actually see any screws, hoping there's some in here. Well, it's not good. Okay, so I don't see any screws, so I might have to find some. Oh, here they are. They were wrapped up in, I forget what was in this. Here are the screws right here. Okay, so we're all set. Basically, we'll take all this stuff here. Let's lay it out here. We've got the Sweet Multiport, the PCI card, the handle, the ribbon cable, the interface cables, and the adapter here. So that's a whole Sweet Multiport setup. Oh yeah, and the screws. Oops, it didn't even land in the camera. The screws. So yeah, that's the whole setup. We'll start taking the system apart, and we'll continue on from there. So let's go. Okay, so before we continue, I will have to take out the optical drive bay here. So I'll quickly do that. I have to pull out the adapter here. That is the LED controller. Pull that out for now. And I'll have to unwire it to get it out the way. Actually, I might be able to leave it the way it is. This should just slide out now. Like that. That's all we need out right there. So, let's continue on. Okay, so the first step we'll need to do is assemble the Sweet Multiport itself, which these instructions show you. Now, this looks like it came from the GeeThree website. Doesn't look like it originally came with the assembly. I'd say it came looking a little different. But basically, this is pretty straightforward. I'm not going to be using the instructions. I've already taken one of these apart before, so I know how they work now. So let's assemble the thing. Okay, so first off, we need to get this cover off here. And the way Apple put it in here, you basically have to take the top drive out. So let's do that really quick. Okay, then the drive slides forward, I think. That's the way it goes, right? I thought it did. Does it go backwards? No, it goes forward. Should just slide out. It's not sliding out. This is that G5 one, and I think it got glued in from the glue from the sides. So this might be a challenge. Ow! That worked. That was painful too. It's out. Okay. Yeah, it definitely glued itself in from the glue. I should have probably cleaned that off, but I wasn't planning on pulling that back out. Anyway, now this will lift up and pop out. And now we can put the original drive back in, but before we do that, let's put the Sweet Multiport in. And it looks like this needs cleaned out, so I'll clean that really quick. Okay, so I've cleaned it out, and we will need these 4 screws here, so I'll unscrew those real quick. These will secure the Sweet Multiport into the case, so I'll have to take them out. And once I have these out, we'll start assembling the Sweet Multiport. Okay, so it looks like the Sweet Multiport also came with enough screws to secure it into the cage, but I think I'll use the original screws if they fit, and save these 4 for something else. So basically the only thing you gotta do is take the Sweet Multiport, set it down in, line up the holes, make sure they line up, which they're not doing. Here we go. Line it up like that. See if the holes line up like this. The fire wires look like it might actually need cut a little bit. I'm not really sure on that. Let's see if I've got a fire wire. Of course I do. I've got one right here. Oh yeah, they'll fit in. It's a little odd to see them square like that. But anyway, that's the Sweet Multiport. Let's get the screws in it. Okay, so as I'm putting this together, I can see that this was actually the GeeThree Sweet Multiport, I guess was started in 2003. The copyright date says 2003 on it. They probably designed it in 2003, introduced it probably around late 2003 or early 2004. So, yeah. Anyway, so once the Sweet Multiport is put in here, like this, where it's nice and in there, I should actually have enough room to fit my LED controller back in underneath this. That's going to be nice. But anyway, once that is done, sorry about that, my living room clock decided to start going off. Anyway, where we were is we were getting ready to put this in here. So basically the only thing you have to do is take it and line it up and slide it into the case like this. And you also got to line up the holes here. So this is going to be fun. Because it doesn't quite fit right, as we can see. But, you know, it should work. So let's see if the factory case screws will work. Yeah, they work fine. So we'll first put them in loose so we can get it all lined up. Okay, now it's lined up. We can tighten it down. Okay, next step is they want you to actually connect the ribbon cable before you install the thing into the bay, but I wanted to put it in first and see if it lined up nicely, and it seems to have. It looks nice. So now I'll take the ribbon cable right here and we'll put it in. Now this ribbon cable is going to probably give me some problems because I don't want it to block airflow, and I need it to try to get under the RF shield. If possible, I might have to actually get creative snaking it through the case. But anyway, we just take it and line it up like that. Now we have the ribbon cable in. We can now put the optical drive back in. And it should just slide back in. You can see the glue remnants. It literally was glued in there. It's some good glue. So anyway. Okay. Line it up. And put the screws in. Ouch. All right. And that is the completed assembly, which is now ready to put back into the case. But before we put it back into the case, I've already wiped off the MDD's mirrored door right here. Let's move the camera up. We already have this wiped off and clean. So let's take the handle here, which itself isn't very clean, but it will work. Take the adhesive off and pray the adhesive's still good. Like that. And then the handle goes on right here. So let's line it up. This is not easy. Nope. It's like guys. It looks about lined up. See if the top still opens flat. Yeah. So that should work. So we can glue it on here like that. And now I can just do this and open it, and the weight of it keeps it downwards, but then you do that, it closes. So it's really heavy. Once you have it down, it's going to stay down until A, the hinge gives out, or B, the glue gives out. But it's easy to just close back up like that, and it closes fine. So actually, let's wipe this down. I'll wipe this down a little bit. Let's see how it looks afterwards. Okay, so I wiped it down. It looks a lot better. Pretty neat looking. And, you know, it's, you know, it could be, let's flip you upside down here. It could be almost what you could consider factory. Looks pretty cool. You know, and hey, now we can access the Sweet Multiport with no problems. So let's get to installing the Sweet Multiport. Okay, so first off, we'll need to install the hub card here. Okay, and we'll put it in this slot right here since it's the closest to the USB card that I'm plugging it into. Now you can install this on the factory USB ports, which they recommend, but as I've heard, I don't know if it's true yet, but as I've heard, this is a USB 2.0 hub, and I'd believe it because it has an NEC chip on it, which actually looks like it's dated in 2011. I didn't know they made them that late. So that's cool. That should be a USB 2 chip, which means if you plug it into a USB 2 card, it will have USB 2 in the front ports, which is cool. So let's take this bracket out here. And unplug my SATA. Line this up. And it does not really fit in there very well. Huh. Need to get a better angle at this, I think. Okay, now it should go in. There it goes. That's in. Put the screw in. And there we go. We have the interface card plugged in. Now we can plug in the Sweet Multiport to the front and make sure everything lines up, plug in the LEDs and all that stuff. We'll time lapse that because it should be pretty self-explanatory, and hopefully it should just work, and then we'll show you the aftermath. Okay guys, so I have hooked it up here, and we have it feeding through the bottom of the RF shield here. I hope that stays. And then we have it fed up and straight into the card, as we can see here. And it looks like it will work, but the big question is, can I get the case to close? Which I'm not sure if I can. So let's get the camera so I can see if I can film this properly. Basically, I don't want it to block the airflow right here. So let's do that and see if it all works. Hey, how about that? It worked. Okay, so the last step we need to do before we finish hooking this up, well, the last thing we need to do to hook it up anyway, is to plug in the ports. Now, we'll need to plug in the firewire, and we'll need to plug in the USB. And the more I think about this, the more I think I should have probably put the USB down here. We'll leave it that way for now. So anyway, to hook this up, we need the firewire cable, which is extremely way too long. So maybe it will let me do it hooked up like this. We'll need it plugged in one of these ports, like that. And then we'll have it looped down into this one. Like that. It's not very elegant, but that now means we have firewire on the front. I will have to get some size matched cables. The same problem with my Quicksilver. I never did get those back from Harun's dad. I could ask him for them, but I just haven't gotten around to it. So the next thing is we need to plug the extremely long USB cable in, and I'm going to try to shorten this to something I can use, and see how that works. So I am twisting this together, and now what we need is we need to move this camera back up like that. There's the USB hub, and then we just plug it into one of the USB ports right here, and now we have our multiport hooked up. It looks really silly. It wasn't a very elegant design, as you can see. They should have probably incorporated the chips into the card itself. But hey, it's probably cheaper to do it this way. So the last thing before we hook it up is let's just see what it looks like on the inside now that it's installed. If we flip this down, there's the Sweet Multiport. I'm going to have to, give me 1 second guys. I still have this sitting on a tripod, not want to have to actually unscrew it yet. So let's lower you. Here we go. Perfect. Alright. So yeah, that is what the Sweet Multiport looks like. It looks pretty cool. It looks like something Apple might have done, minus all the extra wires in the back. Yeah. But anyway, so now we shall hook up the system and see if the multiport works. Okay guys, so I did forget to show you how the LEDs work on this system. And basically, the only thing I have to do is lift this up. And if you look under here, I have an LED controller on the bottom that I have glued on. And this will give you multi-different colors. I'll go into detail when we do the showcase on this system. But that's how I control the lights. And these are really cheap lights. So when you turn it on from it being off, it sometimes forgets the setting until you turn them off on the bottom and turn them back on. Then it resets to your last remembered setting. It's really strange, but that's just one little minor drawback, and it's not a big deal. So anyway, what we're going to do now is I will turn the system on, and hopefully we won't see any sparks flying in case something got grounded out or something. So let's go. There it goes. That power button's really stiff. And while this system is booting up, I have this hooked up into an ADC and an ADC to DVI adapter. So it's dual screen now, for now anyway, just to play around with it. While this is hooked up, it did not seem to switch into fade mode. But anyway, I have this like in pulsing mode. It's not pulsing, but since we have this, let's see if I can feel the button here. This is going to be booting up for a second. If I hit the right button, that's not it. I thought that was it. It's gotta be the button. Well, the remote's not working. Okay, it turned it off. There's fade. Yeah, the box needed reset. Now, if I go through the settings, we've got multi-modes here. And it has a blinking mode, fading mode, multiple different colors. It says on the package that it will go up to 20 different colors. Right now we have it in the cycle mode here. And basically, it looks really cool. I do like these LEDs here, and it works great. So anyway, so yeah, now we have everything booted up. We've got the multiport installed here. Let's see what it looks like in System Profiler here. It should be under USB for the card controller. Sweet card reader. It's hooked up, it's working. And it says it's on the high-speed bus, which means it truly is a 2.0 card. And look, the speed's even 480. So yes, the reader's even a 2.0 reader. That is really awesome. I did not know the reader itself was 2.0. It's cool. So anyway, yeah, we've got the multiport. I will be right back. I am going to grab some stuff just to test to see if the USB and stuff is working. And I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I've got my Corsair gaming mouse, which I use on my mid-2011 iMac, and my iSight, which this is a spare one that I got off of GeeThree, which I'll be using for microphone or something like that. I doubt I'll ever actually use it for video. But still, we've got FireWire and we've got USB. So first off, we'll plug in this mouse here and see what happens. It's glowing. Let's see. Yep, it is being a mouse. Awesome. So we know the USB works. Okay, so now we'll plug in the eyesight here. Probably goes this way. Yeah, goes like that. We heard it turn on without it being unscrewed. It's odd. But anyway, usually what happens is, while this is off, you have to do this for the iChat to turn on, but iChat already turned on. So let's close it like that. Let's close out iChat like that, and let's try it one more time. There we go. So that works too. So FireWire and USB both works. I don't currently have any CF cards laying around other than in my iPod mini, and I'm not pulling that out right now. And I don't have any full-sized SD cards right now. This probably can't read the more recent ones anyway. Let's turn this LED off for now. This probably can't read the most recent anyway, and that's, I think, the only ones I have. But here's the Sweet Multiport. It is working. This is a very, very weird piece of oddware here that really is awesome. And I am really glad that Bob Nunn, the people at Headgap Systems, actually had this still. It works great, and I recommend guys checking out Headgap store.com. They have such cool stuff. It's unbelievable. The really neat stuff they have at great prices. Like I said, I wouldn't buy a Mac from them unless you can negotiate with them very well. But you know, this Sweet Multiport is so neat, and it's going to be really useful. I wish I could put one in my FireWire 400, but I don't have any PCI slots. Plus, it's got enough problems of its own, so I'll just suffer with plugging stuff into the back. But hey, I can plug stuff into the front of this, and they work. Wrong way. Like that. Ta-da! Real cool. I've got USB 2.0 in the front and FireWire 400 in the front, plus those awesome card readers. And you know, I am really excited for this. And yeah, so anyway, that is the end of today's video, guys. Don't forget, guys, I am now sponsored by SellYourMac.com. If you have an Apple device you'd like to sell, it's SellYourMac.com/RutKMods. Link will be in the description. Also, there is going to be more videos coming very soon. I had a few rough weeks here, but I plan on pumping out content a lot faster again now. We'll be doing more cool stuff like this. Episode 9 will be probably on my G5 quad. We'll also be having Garrett Green's thank you video coming up soon. It's probably going to be in that video, but I am considering making it actually a separate video now. It's that good, and I think he should have some more spotlight. So yeah, that might actually be a separate video. But anyway, like I said, everything's coming up very soon. We'll be having a lot more videos coming in. Don't forget, guys, I do now have a Patreon if you'd like to help support me. I'll have a link in the description and also at the end of the video. And that is the end of today's video. This has been a RutKMods video.